Hello everyone, it's your host Seth the Programmer, and today we'll be discussing Zamasu. Now I've somewhat touched up on Zamasu in my past few videos recently, but this video will be touching up solely on his feats and him alone. Why Zamasu is far more powerful than we ever thought was possible. Let's get started. Okay, so this is about Fusion Zamasu, this isn't about Goku Black, this is about Immortal Zamasu or Present Zamasu. But we should still give a recap on Merge Zamasu and Vegito. I know I said this was going to be about Merge Zamasu, but Vegito is pretty relevant to Zamasu because they're rivals per se, as people still don't understand a lot of things about him. Merge Zamasu, as stated by Gowasu, was the equivalent of Goku Black merging with Immortal Zamasu and having their power multiplied to no conceivable end, so high that the gods could not even comprehend it anymore. Many people underestimate Zamasu due to, say, Goku damaging him, but there's many things you need to keep in mind here. Goku Black himself is stronger than Goku. This was already confirmed by the Dragonball Super producer and Goku Black's feats near the end of his era of existence, etc. So Goku Black could overpower Goku on his own. Now this is important, as, remember, Goku overpowered Fusion Zamasu on his own after he said Zamasu was just toying with them. So Goku utilized Zamasu's arrogance not once, but twice in their fight. So Zamasu underestimated Goku or overestimated himself and ended up suppressing himself due to such. Then he caught Goku by the leg. Goku then catches him off guard for the second time by suddenly amping his powers by whatever amount of Kaioken he used, is unquantified. Now, what's interesting is that Zamasu never used his full powers until he fought Vegito, and I can prove this. And this is not actually stated, but shown, as when Zamasu first meets Vegito, he underestimates Vegito so badly that Vegito can casually block Zamasu's attack with one hand stretched out without flinching whatsoever. Zamasu then realizes that he simply can't toy around with Vegito like he could Goku, Trunks, and Vegeta, and begins to use his full power. This is actually shown by, despite Vegito literally just tanking his attack like it was fodder, starts clashing fists and fights on an even playing field for a while with Vegito, meaning Vegito could have only tanked that attack if Zamasu was holding back when they first met. It seems weird to think about, but try to remember, Zamasu is a proud god when he's fused. He believes using his full power on mortals is beneath him when he initially fused, as he notes himself as somewhat transcendent, as Gowasu implies he's no longer comprehensible to gods. So Vegito gradually starts to damage and weaken Zamasu in their fight. This is stated by the Supreme Kai from Universe 7, who states in the middle of Vegito and Zamasu's fight that Zamasu isn't healing, but degrading. Zamasu not only was degrading, but was having mental problems with his fused form that both Vegito and the Dragonball Super producer himself note, in fact. Vegito noting this when he states that Zamasu will always have Son Goku holding him back inside his body, and the producer flat out just states that they were originally one person and that was his weakness. So the fusion god Zamasu was capable of even swapping hands with Vegito Blue, who is insanely powerful in comparison to Goku and Vegeta, as stated in the Daizenshu, the super exciting guy, and even canon scenes of Dragon Ball Kai. Even saying he's only over 400 times greater than Goku in power is actually an extreme lowball according to all the information we have on this guy. And Zamasu not only fought him, but could knock his ass into the dirt even while having a mental battle with himself and gradually degrading in ability. So Zamasu finally degrades heavily after Vegito slams him with all his power in a final Kamehameha and begins going insane. Like, he begins laughing maniacally and whatever the fuck. Vegito comes in to finish him off, but can't as he used too much power and defused. Trunks then comes in and finishes him off with an exponential energy boost from all the survivors on Earth, Saiyan beyond God, Goku, and Vegeta, and an enraged Amp on top of that. However, Zamasu doesn't actually die, he becomes stronger. He actually transcends to the next level of existence. Absolute fourth dimensional existence. Now, there's not a single Dragon Ball YouTuber or debater on this website that can tell you anything about the fourth dimension. I've talked to every power scaler and debater on this damn website, and none of them at all know why I say Goku, obliterating a fucking universe is fourth dimensional feat or has almost infinite third dimensional power. They don't understand. They don't have the comprehension skills to understand this. But I do. And I'm going to tell you right now what a fourth dimensional being is. So the fourth dimension is time, okay? Time is the fourth dimension. Now, there are such things as fourth dimensional feats without necessarily having a fourth dimensional existence per se. Now, let me explain that. Goldo, he can freeze all of time in the universe by holding his breath, right? That's fourth dimensional in terms of a feat because it manipulates time. However, Goldo's body is third dimensional, okay? So keep that in mind. There's also, the fact that time is a concept made by man. In theory, it doesn't even exist. Time doesn't exist. It doesn't at all. Time is a concept we made to explain why the lapse between something moving from one place to another, and we say that's time, okay? So time is a concept made by man. Fiction obviously abuses this because it's fiction and it's fun to talk about, concepts made by mankind, like, key energies and stuff like that. That's what Dragon Ball is all about, actually. So time is a concept. So being on a times level is hard to explain, but there's a difference between being fourth dimensional and being able to survive and manipulate the fourth dimension. Like, the fact that we can move in time, like as humans, is fourth dimensional. Us moving in time is fourth dimensional, but we have third dimensional existences per se. Now, what's fourth dimensional about Zamasu, and like he completely transcends fourth dimensionality or whatever, is that he truly ascends to fourth dimensional levels. He doesn't just exist in the fourth dimension or manipulate it. He completely transcends time and space. Zamasu consumes the earth and obliterates every non-important mortal on earth. Guasu then states Zamasu is trying to become one with the universe, and holy shit is this big. This is pretty important. Zamasu uses his immortal astral existence to consume the entire universe and solidify nigh omnipresence. But not only does he consume the entire timeline that is 12 universes large, but he grows so massively powerful that people from the fucking past can feel his power. That's right, he grows so massive and powerful that he completely surpasses the boundaries and the concepts of time and space and ascends to a true fourth dimensional existence, meaning he is infinitely above any third dimensional being in existence. You could also even imply that this makes Vegito fourth dimensional, as Vegito could rival Zamasu, although it seems that by merging with the universe, Zamasu merged with its time and space itself. So Zamasu grew so powerful that his existence transcended time itself. He didn't just move in time, he didn't just freeze time, he completely surpassed time. His power was so great that it completely shat on a fourth dimensional universe. People have brought up that Zamasu appearing in other timelines was only due to him time traveling. I don't get where this comes from, but apparently he was time traveling, which is why he was felt in other universes or timelines. However, Zamasu could only time travel with his time ring, which he lost along with his physical body, unless you're saying he absorbed it, which would still make him fourth dimensional and infinitely above any Dragon Ball Z character to ever exist, not Dragon Ball Super. So what he did is that he absorbed the time and space of the other timeline, of Future Trunks' timeline, and by doing so, he became the fourth dimensional universe, which is how he was able to transcend into the past without using a time ring, which is very important. Keep that in mind. So after consuming life on a nigh multiversal scale, the Omni King is summoned. The Omni King was then so worried and threatened by Zamasu's transcendence that he didn't just annihilate Trunks' universe, but all of existence in that timeline, all 12 universes in Trunks' timeline. He obliterated them all. Remember when he got mad in the canon universe, the present one, that he just obliterated 6 of the universes. He's like, okay, just get rid of that, right? He didn't just obliterate all of existence, but he thought Zamasu was so threatening. And mind you, the Omni King wasn't even mad here. He was just legitimately worried and threatened that he obliterated all of existence. So he completely obliterated all of the space in the timeline, which is why the timeline is pure white when they come back. Meaning he also obliterated all of time as well, as time and space are interwoven in a universe. So if he obliterated all of space, he also obliterated all of time, which is also, you know, common knowledge, but many people will not tell you that because they don't know this shit. So Goku going back to fetch the Omni King is a different scenario, as the time machine makes its own timelines by shooting through timelines, etc., or going to certain coordinates of time. It's never explained. It's somewhat inconsistent. So in theory, due to the time machine having time within its matter and energy, time could theoretically exist if the time machine exists. It also was just a built-up plot point for Goku to give the Omni King a friend, so I wouldn't regard Goku being able to travel through the empty timeline as anything serious, unless you want to say Goku is fifth dimensional, as Omni King did obliterate all of space, which would in turn obliterate all of its interwoven time, which could possibly make the Omni King fifth dimensional, as he completely obliterated not only a fourth dimensional immortal causality being, but 12 fourth dimensional macroverses, and was just kind of chilling there after annihilating all of time space without so much as a scratch, was just kind of like floating around. So yeah, Zamasu is just an absolute god, transcending his limits as a 3D being into a true 4D being, and only being able to be eliminated by the Omni King, who thought he was so threatening he had to obliterate all of existence to get rid of him, and people from the past and possibly the future could sense his power because it was so great and, you know, transcending. Pretty crazy. I never thought we'd see Dragon Ball reach such insane and incomprehensible levels of power, honestly. I'm gonna solidify this point one more time. Nobody on this YouTube platform will explain fourth dimensional levels of characters like I will, okay? They don't understand. Like I said, I've talked to power scalers, I've talked to other YouTubers. They don't understand what infinite third dimensional levels are, okay? They've just seen the series and they just know how to, you know, oh, well, they'll tell you what Toriyama's birthday is, or they'll tell you, you know, maybe Super Saiyan 3 Goku could be Kid Buu or something. They will not tell you anything about a fourth dimensional being like I will, and keep that in mind. I know what I'm talking about here, guys. And Zamasu reached fourth dimensional transcendence, which means he's infinitely stronger than any character in, say, original Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z. Not necessarily Dragon Ball Super because of the Omni King, and maybe Beerus and Whis are stronger than we think, but anything in Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball, Zamasu is infinitely stronger than that. Just remember that. He's infinitely above their planes of existence. So yeah, he's an absolute monster, guys. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something. I'm sure you learned a lot. But anyways, till next time.